Good evening, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for liking Bonolo Speaks page. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for tagging your people, your family and friends. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for suggestions. Thank you for all the ideas coming through. Thank you for all your questions. I welcome you to this Thursday broadcast, and I'm excited about it because it's Thursday, and so the weekend is just here. So what a beautiful day to actually have, an artist and a creative director in the house. We will be having Tshegofatso Kwadiba. We have these transforming stories coming through, hoping that they will inspire someone, hoping that they will help someone start their own journeys or restart or pause and just, restart. It's very, very important to continue in the journey. It's important to pick up the pieces, dust yourself, and continue with the journey. It's never over, and it will never be over until we win. Thank you so much for joining. Ian, please go ahead and let me know where you're joining us from. I see you. Just go into the comment section and let me know where you're joining us from. Thank you so much. And please do go ahead, tag your people, your family, friends. We are going to be hearing a transforming story right here of an artist and a creative director who understands and just knows how to start from zero. Not once, not twice, but 3-4 times. He has been able to start from zero and he made it. And so this is the time to hear his story. And I'm hoping that as we talk to him, you will be inspired to start your own journey. Yeah. Good evening. Welcome. I'm happy to see you here. I'm happy that you could join us today. Go ahead in the comment section. Let us know where you're joining us from. Yes, would love to know where you're joining us from. And definitely tag 1, 2, 3, 4, 15, 20, or even 100 people. Just tag everyone because, yeah, we are here for a treat. What a way to activate the weekend. It's a Thursday. Yeah, it's a Thursday. And so it would be beautiful to just hear, an artist speak. Let me welcome you, Tshegofatso.
Thank you so much for having me this evening. It's an honor.
All right. Awesome stuff. Tshegofatso Kwadiba. Who would you say you are, Tshegofatso? If you were asked, who is Tshegofatso Kwadiba?
I think every time I've had interviews or these kind of setups, it's kind of hard to answer that kind of or that specific question because how it's a similar weighing or link and what's in. But in a nutshell, my stage name. I didn't change or tweet anything. I'm a young man. I think I won't say my age yet, but I'm young. I'm a young man, Motswana. And another thing, people tend to think I'm not a Motswana. I was born in Botswana. I'm a creative by profession. I'm a musician. Funny enough, I didn't study or I didn't graduate in the creative sector, but the moment I finished in the corporate, I wanted to be a creative. So, Till is in a nutshell a creative nut. So yeah, that's particularly a little sentence I can use to put who Tshegofatso Kwadiba is.
Awesome. Very interesting that you didn't graduate from a creative institution, and so you went for it. So we've been having conversations. We've been having conversations around this, just how we are never channeled right from the beginning. Most of us went to study something else, and when you are there, when you graduate, or even when you start your first semester, you realize, I don't want to do this. And I know that there are people out there who just are stuck in one place, and you are just bringing that hope to them, to say you don't have to be stuck in a place where you don't want to be. If you think you are a creative and you graduated from a business school, you can go ahead and go into your field. So that's beautiful. It's COVID-19, lockdowns and all. The creative industry is one of the hard hit industries. How was that for you?
COVID has hit us all in a very drastic and dramatic way. I think, as you know, usually when I tell people I'm an artist, I'm trying to show people the artist sector is huge. An architect is an artist. A singer is an artist. A lawyer is an artist, if you didn't know. So, apart just from the creative sector, but we are the most hit because the creative sector involves interaction. It involves people. It involves being around people, and knowing that COVID has really limited us to be able to host events and socialize. It has made our industry very numb and immobile at the moment. Particularly Botswana, because as we were talking the other day, I was just saying, we are moving into the digital world, but our country is still a bit behind in terms of applying and having knowledge about streaming, about online shows, about actually attending shows online. So it's still a pullback because everybody's trying to adjust into the new norm. But COVID has really hit us. Like, I remember when we went into lockdown last year, I was supposed to have an official launch for my album on the 1st of May, but I had to cancel it because we were on what? Lockdown. So, and that was food for many people. It was food for the musicians I had contracted for that show, for that venue, for my MC, for my sound company, for my, it's just a chain of service providers that are involved in a production. So, and imagine it's been how many months now? We're going towards a year in April where we'll be surrounded by this pandemic, and it's still a cause of concern of how is this industry going to be revived? How are we going to survive any further than already what has happened? So COVID has really drastically, humongously affected the creative sector.
Yeah. As we always say, there's always a silver lining. There's always something beautiful that comes out of whatever hit us. And what was that for you? What came out of it? Did you locate anything beautiful in the middle of ugly?
I think majority of us, I think you'll be able to talk about it because I've kind of had like this conversation with a lot of people of how they felt last year when it was around this period, and we could see news that things are happening overseas, and we were seeing that this thing is actually coming closer to us, and we're being told we're going on a lockdown. I think a lot of us felt a bit of anxiety during that time because we didn't know what is going to happen, what was going to happen, how it was going to happen. So I think the first few months of lockdown were just shutdown mode. Shut down. Like, when your mind is off, the creativeness was gone. Like, because we're still trying to adjust and think about what exactly is happening and come to terms with the reality that has hit us. So now for a good 6 months, I won't lie. For a good 6 months since last year, March, my mind was on lockdown. I couldn't think of anything to do or to be creative about. It came roughly July, August, somewhere around that period. I was like, do you see that this is gonna take a bit longer? What is your next move? Are you going back to an office? Are you going to look for a job and go back to an office and do something that you don't want to do and be depressed etc., etc. And I was like, nope, that is not me. God has given me abilities. As long as I can still think, I can still use my eyes, my ears are working, my hands are working, my feet are working. Something has to come up. I then said, I remember I was on top of my bed. I said, I was like, you know what do I love? What do I love as Tshegofatso Kwadiba the brand? And I was like, fabric. Fabric. I need to do something with fabric. And at that time, I didn't really have a clear vision of how I'm gonna work with fabric. So I just got out the house. I didn't have money by that time anyway. There was imagine 6 months income. I just decided to take a drive, went to the nearest fabric shop and strolled more fabric shop to a point where assistants were asking me, no, I'm not looking for anything in particular. I'm just scrolling in your shop. So please give me time to digest what you guys have right now. And if I do want to buy something, I will call you. So, and that's how my apparel business was launched. Just like that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
indeed true. It's indeed true that when you go inward and just say, what am I about? What can I do? I'm here
Yeah.
now. What's there?
Mm,
Something
mm.
do come. Something do come.
Yes, it does.
Tshegofatso, one of the reasons why I was very, very interested in your story is just how you go ahead and just start things. You go ahead and just start things. You started and had your first show.
Yeah.
Your first show, you went in with nothing, and you went ahead to prepare to launch a live recording of your album, your first album, which is a beautiful album, by the way. I've listened to all the songs. They bless me. I play them even on radio. So not only that, you also were sitting at home broke, and you somehow conceived the idea that you could work with fabric. That idea matured, and you birthed that idea still broke. Man, how do you start when you have nothing? Because many people think they need a whole lot of resources to start.
I think the first thing any individual, I need to understand is that what God has given you, He has truly given it to you. You just need to understand it, see how best you can develop, bring it out. Looking back, when you're talking about all these things, it's a rewind for you of where I come from, how I've survived, how I've made things happen. 2016, I had my first show. At the time, I was still staying in South Africa studying. I think I was doing my 4th year. And I was, being in another country, which is another thing, not particularly South Africa, but being in another country, it kind of like gets you out of your comfort zone, and you get exposed to a lot of things that you wouldn't realize because you get so comfortable that even any mediocre work can satisfy you. So I was staying in South Africa. I wanted to have a show home. I was planning things over the border. Imagine when you're having a show here, but you're not staying here. You're on the other side. So I remember the first people I told that I wanted to have a show were my team. I told the team, I gathered a team of individuals that I was relating with. I was like, guys, I want to have a show, and I want it to be very symbolic. I want it to happen in the month of February. February is a special month for me. It's my favorite month of love. It's the month I was born. It's the month that births a lot of things for me spiritually. So I always love doing things in February, things that change my life drastically. So I had my first show. I told them I want to have my first show on February. February. People are broke, my guy. Why would you want to have something beginning of the year? Why not have towards winter or towards the end of the year, which is the season where most shows happen? God hasn't told me about other months. I want February. So, and then came fast forward. I was home more frequent before that show. I was home more frequent for rehearsals. Rehearsals started. I started mobilizing. And the big question is, how did I manage to pay for the expenses for that show? Bonolo, I sold Sorotin ticket. Ticket. You literally work and sell that thing. If you know you don't have sponsors, which is a cry we're still having in the creative sector, that, you know, it's very hard to get sponsors. You have to constantly prove yourself and go above and beyond, despite you carry whatever. So I did be reluctant on anything or on anybody unless Motarabona see what you're doing. I wanna pledge, or I wanna invest, or I wanna support. So it was upon me to say, dude, you need to make this amount of money. This amount of money to pay for your expenses for the show, because you need to understand that nothing is for free. You need to pay service providers. So yeah, came that, and funny enough, I had no expectations for that event, none whatsoever. Ministering sharp. Whether what it's the first show. Little did I know. Tickets were selling. I think before on December 2015, I sold 350 tickets. December. The show is in February.
Right.
So now the money that I was using for those 350 tickets, I was covering expenses and okay, those who come on the day of the event, but I already ticket at the entrance. So in my mind, I really didn't expect the hall to be full beyond capacity, to a point where people were standing at the back because there was no chairs. So little did I know, because I'm a time conscious person, my flyer said the show is starting at 5:30. Indeed, 5 o'clock, I was dressing up with my singers and my band. 5:30, the MC was on stage. 5:45, I was holding my microphone. People started arriving, Cabo, past the 7. By tell I'm halfway through my first set. I'm almost done with my first set. I get now in second set. Hall is full. Hall is packed. Literally, I think if you do follow me, go on my Facebook page. Look for a 2016 album. You'll see what I'm talking about. Hall is full. Okay, hall is full. Does this mean there's actually something about me that people are attracted to? And ever since then, I was like, you know what? I constantly need to push myself above and beyond. I shouldn't doubt my abilities, because God has given me the talent. I just need to respect it and utilize it accordingly. And that's when I had my first show, and I think I had it on February. And then I started having an encore where people wanted another show. I did it later that year in November. Yes, in November. And then after 2016, 2017, I started saying I want to prepare now for an official album recording. So 2017 was a year of preparation. Like that whole 12 months, I was preparing for an album. And people don't understand that it's important to prepare. It's important to rehearse for you to have quality. So I just dedicated the entire year to make sure things are in place. My album, I recorded the first recording happened again in February 2018. So you see, I'm a February person in a way. February 2018, I recorded my first album. I tried recording my first album. It didn't go well. It didn't
what
go
happened?
Well. You're opening wounds, Bonala. You're opening wounds. Can I drink something?
Let's see if you healed. It's one of those things that we live with. We have to master our emotions. We have to know how to heal. We have to know how to heal ourselves. We have to know how to close chapters and move on. And one of the signs and indicators that you've healed is when you are able to share your story without shedding a tear. So yeah, so what happened? Because I think it's also one of the beautiful things about you, that you had those challenges, but you continued, you persevered.
Yeah. So, yeah, as I said, I was now preparing for a recording of an album, and there are more details to recording to just actually just having a show. If I were to sit down with you and show you in detail or recording in tailoring, you'll actually see that this is a lot of work and it's a lot of money. So I did the same thing as I did in 2016. I think for that recording, I really tried to involve different stakeholders in terms of corporate and the government to try and get assistance in terms of funding. But as I had said, none came to the party. I had to go back to my plan A, which is what? Sell tickets. I sold tickets. The only thing some corporates did were buy. They couldn't give me large sums of money. So the only thing they could do in terms of supporting was to buy tickets for like VIP tickets, did 10 or really just to support me. So that's what I did. I pushed tickets so that I could pay for expenditure. Initially, as I said, I was based in South Africa, so I'm very much familiar with what's happening that side in terms of the technology, the sounding, and everything. So the idea was I wanted something that was from home, but I wanted it to have quality. So I wanted to bring South African people to come and capture and record my album me mo Botswana. Ko re batla ka equipment from South Africa, e tla diriswa mo Botswana. But as I'm saying, everything is expensive. I had to sit down and say, you know what? It's a bit too expensive. Because when you're bringing people from South Africa, we have BORS at the border that's going to charge for crossing equipment. We have accommodation for those guys. And we're talking of over 30 people from South Africa to come and do that thing here. We're talking about feeding them. We're talking about making sure that little miscellaneous costs of when are covered. So calculating that, it didn't make financial sense. And then I had to go for a plan B, which is something that I initially didn't want. I'll come back to that plan B thing. I was like, okay, let me just involve local service providers and support local, Inquired on a couple of service providers locally. As you know, it's a norm to get 3 quotations from 3 different companies, get the details, the pros and the cons, etc., etc. So I got into a deal with one service provider. Holo for 4 days. 4 days. So that you can do your entire setup, take your time, make sure everything. But this is to show you that the recording has more detail than just a show. There's a lot more cabling because capturing is everything. So I was given the whole for 4 days. I was given time to do my setup and everything. And he knew that. They, as a company, knew that.
Yeah.
Little did I know that I'm being played. I'm being, I think one thing I learned from an early age, which is when I started in the industry, was that always trying to find service providers, but that's outsourcing. Once they outsource, things become a bit crippled in terms of bringing them on board. So that's when I got the information. After this, I want to deposit and everything. This guy will outsource, and that is why he's a bit expensive. Rather than to get more details in terms of acquiring somebody who doesn't outsource because it's cheaper. I know what, it's already done. I can't be going back and forth. I need, the event is happening. So only I communicated with this production company, letting them know that, what, my recording happened on the 24th of February 2017. I was supposed to do my run through on the 22nd. That's me planning. On the 22nd, I was supposed to have my run through, had the whole, everything set. And then I would have my last sound check the night before the recording. None of those things happened. I was there the Friday night of the event. The setting up wasn't done. It was nothing I had talked about or detailed about I couldn't do anything at that time because no, you know, there's nothing you can do at night. People are sleeping, people are at home, offices are closed. So, you know, with the people who were emotionally there talking and trying to support me, they're like, you know what, just go home and try and switch off yourself. Tomorrow's the recording. You need to be fresh. You need to have energy. So, but obviously, when being me, I won't be able to sleep when things are not done. I was up all night trying to communicate with people I thought could be up for me, but everybody was out, and communication only started in the morning. In the morning of the recording, nothing is still done. I try and call the guy. I think hey, I had a balance for the guy. I think I had like a balance here, roughly 25,000 to balance him all. In the morning, I went to the bank and looked at balance. Now I'm thinking, go get your balance. Kenela, the provider, the balance, and he's done with the setting up for the recording. And as I told you, I'd featured a South African artist called Begum Twitter in the recording. He's already in town. Sound check. He's just waiting on me to give him the details. So upon the day of the recording, my tickets are written 5:30. 5:30, I still haven't done sound check. Mixer 5:30. Mixer people are outside. I am then told to go to my hotel to go and freshen up at the Hakebua. They're assuring me that things will be passash. Okay, let me try and calm down and learn to delegate. This is me kind of trying to calm myself down. Let me calm down, learn to delegate, go take a shower at the hotel, and come back and hit things. Went back. I came back after an hour around 6:30. As I'm driving through the venue, I'm seeing people queuing outside. I'm like, yeah, it's happening tonight. Little did I know that nothing has happened inside. So I get inside the venue. I'm thinking, whatever team is on stage, they've already done sound check. Because by meeting for it, get test my lead mic. What's happening? Mixer is refusing to switch on. What do you mean mixers refusing to switch on? Those ones are really tested before you bring them to a workspace. At that time, I was like, you know what? Do what you need to do. I'm going downstage. This is gonna aside. I only managed to stage at 11 p.m. Yeah, from 5:30 to 11 p.m. And to me, that was the most embarrassing outcome because of how people perceived me from the onset. As you know, branding, image is everything. So at that time, I felt like my brand was very tainted by a certain service provider. But people won't know that because it's my name that's on the flyer. It's my face that's in the forefront. So I have to take that bullet. I have to take responsibility and say, you know what, these guys messed up, but it's upon me. So I had to gather guts. People who knew me and people who truly understood and supported me stayed till that late. But I don't blame Baba Tamailin because then I would have left. I would have been annoyed with what was happening. But I ended up staging late, around 11:30. I had to gather the guts and just go on stage because people had paid to come and see me. I did that. I think the show ended at around 3 a.m., which was very late for me. Ended at 3 a.m. Service provider Hashoe Hela is not nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. But he has to take down his equipment. Imagine I'm very exhausted. He has team here and he's nowhere to be found. To show you that I have lost and I have risen from my losses. Only to be called in the morning by the guys who captured my album. So what happened yesterday was very terrible. What we captured cannot work and we cannot release it. It means we have to start from scratch. Starting from scratch meaning we need more money. Where am I going to get the money? And mind you, I already lost money preparing for this event. Ticket printing, just to give you a list, ticket printing is the money. That venue, I had booked it for 4 days. That is money. I had a crew that I was paying. That is money. I had wardrobe that I was paying. That is money. I was catering my crew. That is money. I booked accommodation. That was money. I was up and down fuel. That was money. I'm just giving you rough figures in your head. I'd lost a lot of money, over 250,000 in this recording in a nutshell. And when I was told I need to start over, I lost it. Because it means the money that I had lost or the purpose of that event was not fulfilled. So it means I need to start afresh. I literally broke down. Breaking down, I mean, I sinked into some form of depression. I suffered from chest pains for a year, where doctors couldn't realize or get to the root cause of why I'm having these abnormal conditions. And Naila could understand that, it's just, I feel it's stress. I just need to heal from what was happening and try and rise up from what happened. Yeah, so that's how I felt. Let me give you time to digest and to ask questions.
Yeah, and I'm just watching you as you narrate this story, just how I can see the emotions. I could see the emotions right there. But I also need you to be still for the camera. I know you're an artist, but be still for me. Nice one. So would you say, yeah, and there's a comment here that's local. As you were narrating your story there, somebody put a comment here to say that's local. We need to really transform our service provision. And I was also thinking about how it gets so difficult when your performance depends on the performance of other people who are your service providers. And like you are saying, that's very bad for a brand, because nobody would ever point a finger at that service provider. We don't even know who you engaged. So it would be like Tshegofatso Kwadiba, what a flop. It's going to be your name dragged in the mud. I think that was the most painful thing. But would you say that was the lowest of your low in your short life? I know you are very young. Would you say that was your rock bottom right there?
It was the most embarrassing experience, because I'm some sort of a perfectionist. I don't know if, for lack of a word, I would use that word. I like
you are a perfectionist. Let me fix that for you. I am a perfectionist.
I like my things done in a certain way in a particular time. You get what I'm trying to say? So once things get off time, I become very agitated. I'm not at ease, because it means things are not gonna unfold accordingly. So it was a terrible experience for me. I won't lie. It's something I'll talk about. Even after that event, a lot of creatives, sorry about that, I was just fixing the wire. A lot of creatives after that who came to my show actually came to me and said, so we're not here to gloat with what had happened, but we learned from what happened to you.
Oh, wow.
We learned from what you get what I'm trying to say? And we couldn't blame you if a service provider can't deliver. And it's time. What can I do? When I'm backstage, when I'm supposed to be getting ready to be on stage, what can I do? My team is trying to run around and they're giving me updates, but they're saying, so I had to, for a good 12 months, I had to cocoon myself, where people were asking, guy? And it was my time to cocoon. Little did, and as you had said, everything has a purpose. Everything happens for a reason. That downfall was a get up for me.
Yeah, and I want you to take us into your comeback. How did you bounce back? How did you, because you then I mean, you could that material wasn't going to work. You couldn't then produce the album and release it from all that. But you bounced back and produced a beautiful album. How did you bounce back? And take us just, I mean, through just how you dealt with the pain on a daily basis, as you cocooned, as you say. How did you deal with the pain?
Well, to show you the magnitude of how this had impacted me, it's all I learned to using money and being a public humiliation is something else. More so that I'm literally juggling everything in my brand right now. And the reason why I'm still juggling a lot of things is because I was having this conversation with my mom when I last saw her. You knowing every department in your industry and in your brand name helps you understand by the time you employ certain individuals to take a particular role, you know the amount of work that they are doing. Could you understand every field when it comes to production? That is one thing that I took seed from that experience. Two, it was so bad that I actually left my house and went to my mom's house. I left home. I went to my mom's house so that I could relate with someone. Because Nikki, so I had to go to people who I could talk to, who can like try and distract my thoughts. So I went to see my mom. I think I was with my mom for a month or two. And then I came back to my house. I now started having to dust myself off. That is when, that's when God now was bringing me out and saying, whatever that I've given you to start, you have to complete it. I'm like, okay, but how am I going to do this? I don't have money. Money has been gone. Like, it's long gone. Where am I going to get money to start afresh? And mind you, starting afresh, it means now this time I have to travel to South Africa. I have to take a team to South Africa to start from scratch. And then, being the hustler that I am, I decided to just inform my family, as you know what had happened. God has placed it in my heart again to complete that. I have lost a lot of money and I don't know how I'm going to do it. And just me saying that, family just started saying, how much do you really need? Because I have a rough estimation. It's a lot of money. So, but I don't expect an individual to give me that kind of money. And, friends started giving me 10,000, 20,000, 5,000, 500. Out of the goodness of their hearts. And I wasn't probing. I'm restarting from scratch. So then, because they had seen my experience or they'd seen what had happened beginning of the year, they could actually relate to what I went through. So it was just them saying, we want to help or we want to pledge into your project. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
I started saving to do my project. I took a team of 30 people to South Africa. Drove to South Africa. That's employment again. Took them to South Africa, booked the State Theatre in Pretoria, recorded my album from scratch, and stayed a week longer with the team to do post-production. And then they came back and I stayed longer for a month till the album was finished. While I was still there, I got a call from a distributor, which is in works with the soon closing Musica, telling me that they want to sign me and make sure that my album is available on all musical outlets in South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana. Now that, for me, was a confirmation that 4 was worth it.
Awesome. It's a beautiful comeback, and people are just commenting here to say, you know what, we understand our service providers here. It's a problem, and it's really disappointing because we want to promote our own, we want to support our own, but whenever we're given the opportunity to do so, some just disappoint, and the problem sometimes is the arrogance that comes with all that. I mean, you lost a lot of money through that company's incompetency and lack of professionalism, but sometimes they don't even have any remorse whatsoever. So it's really a problem. And so you packaged a beautiful album, the God of Encore. Go to his YouTube channel. He is Tshegofatso Kwadiba. You get to appreciate his music there, and everywhere on social media. Yeah, there is the album everywhere, all the social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook. He is Tshegofatso Kwadiba. Just go there and appreciate his music. And now the other beautiful story. I just love how you just start. You are so used to starting that now you are so unstoppable. You don't care what you have. You don't care about mobilizing any resources. When you think of it, you just go in. And so now you launched Tshegofatso Kwadiba apparel. Beautiful, comfortable. They look comfortable. Your apparel looks comfortable.
Yes, I'm comfortable. It's actually Tshegofatso apparel.
Oh, that's the top.
Yes, this is one of the tops. I'm just wearing a top today. I was like, let me just give them a hint and be comfortable and not be all shirt up.
Yeah.
No.
Actually, I'm putting on jeans. That's my jean dress. It's Thursday, man.
Okay. It's Thursday.
Yeah. Weekend activated.
Weekend activated.
So
yeah, this is part of my life.
Yeah. So you already mentioned that you just it was 6 months of that wilderness during lockdowns, COVID-19 hitting us hard, hitting the industry so hard, and you conceived this idea. You went on to look for materials and you started doing your designs, and now they are out. And just how is that doing for you? And would you say the apparel, would you say that it's you had some lessons from way back, and that helped you to actually branch into clothing line?
Yeah. I think that's what I'm saying. Everything that God has given me has to be aligned. I'm a creative in a nutshell, and I'm a musician, and I had to think of something that is in line with my brand, something that can be in sync, or something that can be in the same airwave as my music, which is the firstborn of Tshegofatso Kwadiba. So I had to be very clever and at the same time be myself, because I wanted something that reflects me. I wanted something that was very unique. I wanted something that was catchy, that was something people wanted, and thought if people could see this, they would actually go for it. So the first thing I wanted was comfort and quality. That's me. I don't compromise when it comes to comfort and quality. I believe in giving people what is worth the money. Don't put a particular price on anything that is not the right quality. That's me. And it comes back to starting hard. How similar in a way that you can be proud of one day when you're reflecting back and you're like, I started this thing in my garage and I had nothing. I literally, all I had was an idea, but look where I am. So yeah, I started this in December. I officially launched my clothes in December. First people to support overseas family. And family started buying for their friends. Their friends started buying for their friends. And I was now being discussed in the corporate. Now I'm starting to get corporate gigs in terms of support, I think, supplying merchandise. And I'm slowly being loved and respected. And I am really appreciating how Botswana are interpreting quality. And we need to get to a level as Botswana to recognize quality when we have it, or to recognize authenticity when we have it. Let's not settle for anything that is mediocre or anything that is in any form substandard work.
Yeah. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff indeed. Your your respect for time.
Yeah.
Your respect for time. Where does it come from? What is time to you? I mean, you are always on time. You like you came in here, I think 30 minutes early. I think you came in
Why
before
you
me.
exposing me?
Your respect for time. I mean, it's what guy.
It's in my blood already. One, I'd say that's the first thing. I wanna nna go tlotla nako ga me ke go supa lorato. That's the first thing. If I respect time, I'm showing you love. I'm showing you that you are important. I'm showing you that I respect you and your time as well. I'm not only respecting my time, but I'm also respecting you. So
Wow.
go tswa kgakala go mo respecta nako. I think gape staying in Gauteng made it more intense in terms of school and working and home. I had to always leave very like close to 3 hours earlier than class time to get to where I'm supposed to be at. So that also played a role in me knowing that, you know what, you need to learn to respect time. Despite when I respect your time, so that wherever you go or where you're supposed to go and present, you get there and do things accordingly. You don't want to panic when you get there because you're late. Can't you misplace things. Can't you don't present what you actually initially was supposed to present. So time to me, it helps me understand money. One, you understand money with time. Two, time waits for no man. If you are late for everything, you'll always be late for everything. Even your wedding, you'll be late.
It's a universal law. If you are
It's a
late for
universal
anything,
law.
you always
You'll
be
be late for
late.
everything. So if you don't
Uh,
discipline yourself, like discipline yourself with time.
yeah, awesome. All right, beautiful stuff. I will definitely upload pictures of your clothing in Bonolo Speaks page immediately
Yeah.
after this
Um,
interview. As we
mm,
go towards the end of this beautiful session, and I'm hoping that people are learning a thing or two from your story, because these are the struggles that we go through as people, and there are many people who are sitting back. There are many people who gave up because of these hurdles, but I think you are there saying, look, you may be knocked down, but that's not the end of it all. If you have the
mm,
passion, if you know what you are about, if you have that purpose and it's clear to you, you can rise up and walk again and start walking again. Um,
mm.
so what's your theme? This do you have a running theme? For me, it's every year there's something. Every year there's something that's pushing me, and for me, it can also be a word. It can also be a word. Like
Season.
this year, this word transformation is so in everything that I think
Mm,
of, that I touch, just
mm,
transformation. And so I'm always
yeah.
thinking, in everything that I'm doing, I'm always asking myself, how am I transforming myself? How am I helping others
Mm.
transform themselves? So it's that way. Do you have a running theme for this year that you could share?
One thing that I would like to direct in terms of a theme, which is the word you're using, I don't really make resolutions yearly. I make my I wouldn't really call them resolutions, but my convictions seasonally. And one thing people need to understand is that when you move from one year to another, that's not a new season. Seasons can happen at any time of the year. So for me, it's an annual thing in terms of every 4 months, every 5 months, I go into my cocoon search to reboot and to research and to align. And just like when you take it to a tire shop, ya go alignment in to make sure that and it's a right so
Yeah,
and I do that on a
yeah,
frequent basis because I feel 12 months is too much for you to start Planning. So for me,
Wow.
that's why I always keep myself. That's how I keep myself on my toes. I do a lot of self-reflection almost every 4 to 5 months. I do that. It's good for me. It's very healthy. It's my time to switch off and to make sure that ke make sure sengwe le sengwe sa me se diragala ka se tshwanetse go diragala according to God's purposes and the abilities that He has given. So yeah, I'm aligned with hard work. That's me. Work hard. Everything else will catch along.
Wow.
Work hard. Be authentic. Don't stop. Nobody's
Yeah.
gonna work hard for you. Nobody's gonna talk on your behalf. Nobody's gonna bang doors for you. You have to do it. That is one thing I've learned. You need to be ruthless about your brand. Ruthless in a good way, or in a manner. But be bold with your craft.
Yeah.
And that is the only way
Yeah.
you can get into people's faces.
Wow, that's beautiful. And what you said is so profound. How you disengage and recharge, just that process. That's very, very beautiful, because many of us, you just go on and on and on and on, and highly you realize, or I'm just on autopilot. I'm just and then before I know it, it's December, and everything. And that's very, very important to really find, a way of disengaging, a way of recharging, a way of rebooting, as you put it. Everybody has to find that for themselves, because there's just a lot. Whenever you do anything, really, you are discharging. You are giving out, you are pouring out. And so you need, if you are discharging, you need to recharge. And so if you don't give yourself that time, then you end up, with a burnout, or, depression, or whatever. So you don't want that. So I just like how you take care of that. Those are some of self-care activities that I love so much. Just how you can really direct, all the energy, all the time, everything to yourself, to renewing yourself, so that you can come back. Beautiful stuff. So your very, very, very last word. There'll be a young person out there, helpless. They just don't know what to do. I know you said a lot, just towards the end of what you said earlier. But if you were to say it, nice and crisp, what would be the words for that young person?
God has given it to you. Nobody's going to understand it. Nobody has to understand it. Only you can make them understand. So if you don't sit at home and mope about it, don't sit at home and allow depression to play and toy with your mind because people are not understanding. I have been there. I am still there in some kind of way, but look at where I'm at. You need to allow yourself to go through that process. It's good for you. It's setting you up. It's making you your skin. So you need to
thicker.
One thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. One thing I would say is allow yourself to go through the process. Don't expect things to happen instantly and quickly. Nothing is instant. Or nothing that is instant lasts. So allow yourself to go through the heat. Diamonds are made from pressure. So you need to allow yourself. And learn. Don't allow yourself to just go through it. Learn from it so that when you come out of that season, you're able to work beyond that period.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tshegofatso Kwadiba. I'll go through a few messages here for you.
Okay.
There's a message from Wincy's. She's saying that's local. We need to really transform our service provision. And then Sesha Masara Mabeza are the reality of the music industry in this our small country where we are all eyeing the same clients. Perseverance. Okay, Askis, my brother, you are the epitome of perseverance and professionalism. Keep the faith. And then he went on to also say, did I say he? I'm not sure. Okay, sorry about that. Said, and we pay with sweat and sacrifices for the productions we make, only to be disappointed by our own. We need to do more as Botswana to get rid of this bad image that deeply cuts across sectors. And then Lerang, my friend, says a lot of these local companies can disappoint you big time, and a little arrogance. And then Khali Kwadiba, our time is his love language. That's a nice one, and it's a nice way of closing this session. Tshegofatso, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much to our viewers. We are very, very thankful that you could join us today. I hope that you've been touched in a good way and transformed by the story as much as it transformed me. Let's keep on keeping on. Let's push, like Tshegofatso put it. Nobody is going to work hard for you. Nobody is going to knock doors for you. You are the person. You are your own rescue. If you don't do it for yourself, nobody is going to do it for you. I always want to remind you that nothing just happens. Absolutely nothing just happens. Go out and do whatever you need to do to achieve whatever you set out to achieve. Thank you so much, Sero.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm humbled and I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Right. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. All right. We've come to the end of this session. Thank you so much. Please do continue liking this page, share it, as we will be bringing more content. We'll be bringing more transforming stories, more transforming conversations. Remember, on Mondays, we do have transforming conversations, and on Thursdays, we do bring transforming stories. Thank you so much, and I love you. Good evening.